Had Volmer says we're at level 1. 3 is go. Yeah, we're at like get set level. You know what that means? Get set for go. I guess I don't know. But I have a cousin that lives close to me, so in the other direction, in the opposite direction of the fire. So we have a safe place if we need to go, but I don't think. Alhim F. Yes, Gaia is giving us a good punishment, indeed. Ask the Animal says, I wear masks during Colorado fires, dampen it with H2O, and that seems to help. Yeah. I just can't really do a show with a mask on, so I'm just going to rough it for now. And I'll probably put my mask on later if I'm out and about. 60 degrees in San Antonio. Look out. Active fires in British Columbia is 29. Yeah, I figured that they would be happening in British Columbia as well. Exactly. Coming to you from the fire zone, which is basically all of California. Yes, Kuro. Robert Arajo, all environmental benefits from COVID are now up in smoke. Ba-doom. 2020 will destroy your lungs. Yeah. I mean, I'm in the space that I'm in has been closed all evening, so there's maybe less smoke in here. that's my reasoning, I guess. But yeah. Cougar W says we have 2 HEPA filters running in the house currently. If we keep the doors closed, it really makes a difference. Yeah, we don't have, much of a. Our house is not super closed off, and the windows are very old and leaky, and I can smell the smoke in the house, as I move from room to room. So that's not very good. Where there's less smoke in the house, but there's still smoke kind of seeping in, and that's kind of what's going on. I don't know whether we need to take more emergency like measures or not. I don't know. We're not at that stage yet, I don't think, but it's bad air quality, right? Just don't be outside, don't breathe in if you can help it. Cougar W says one problem I can't solve, the smoke has killed my solar array. Collection is nearly zero. Dang. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh yeah, they don't they don't make those solar panels to what do you do in smoke? If there's wildfires just burning all over the planet, then what does the smoke do to solar collection? Jacob Gordon says, looking at the Arctic sea ice, I'd say there have not been too many benefits to the impact of COVID on the environment. Anyways, let's get into some things. Some international news in Beirut, where they had that huge explosion a couple weeks or a month ago. There's a huge blaze in the port. Beirut fire, large blaze erupts in port area a month after explosion. And maybe we'll play a little bit of this here. If they play me an ad, I won't. So nice, huge black smoke. The blaze broke out in an oil and tire warehouse. Delicious fumes. In the port's duty-free zone, officials told local media it was contained to one place. Anyways, that's going on. Good tweet from Peter Kalmus. Peter Kalmus, I'm enjoying his tweeting mostly. He sees climate change from a, fairly politically progressive viewpoint, which I like. And he tweets this out. Have y'all seen this picture from the Golden Gate Bridge? This is wild. Obviously, this is the Marin side of the bridge, but no, I didn't even see this tweet. So he tweets out, maybe a good time for the DNC to put ending fossil fuel subsidies back in the platform or something. Right. Exactly. Oh my God, Trump's killing the environment. The DNC wants to subsidize fossil fuels still. Green New what? Green New Dream or whatever? That's exactly how the DNC feels about the Green New Deal. The Green New Dream or whatever. That's a quote from Nancy Pelosi. So this, knucklehead down here, how cynical, Peter, if Biden loses, it will be your fault, not his. Shut up, dude. It's his fault, you idiot. It's the DNC's fault. It's the Democrats' fault. They don't care. They don't care about you. They don't really care about climate change. They're just paying lip service. They don't care about the people. They don't want to give people something to vote for. It's absolutely their fault and not Peter Kalmus's fault. You trash person on Twitter. Sorry, that's just how I feel. Just if you're gonna voter shame or voter blame, just go take a walk. Have fun with that. Have a nice life. So whatever. Green New Stream. It's the oil company's fault. There you go, Black Crow. Right. Can we blame anybody? Can we blame some of the people that might be responsible for the policies that have led us down this road instead of blaming, voters who may or may not want to vote for Biden? It's your fault. Nope. Gene says, Kevin, I hope your community is safe. You need heavy rain. I'll try to send some your way. Thank you, Gene. Send it on. G. Demers, shoot the messenger just like Leonidas. Environmental Coffee House. I really hope that Nancy Pelosi gets beaten. It's about effing time. Yes. Yes. And you see what they tried to do to Shahid Buttar. They tried to, he's a sexual predator. He's a weirdo. He's, inappropriate. They tried to run all this stuff on him. Of course. The Democrats and the super PACs and all the people with all the money, they're like, how do we stop this guy? Because he seems pretty popular. And people are starting to see that Nancy Pelosi is an empty skeleton of a human being. Skeletor. Karma is calling, indeed, Oceanic Estate. Anyways, yeah, I like that tweet from Peter Kalmus. Not so much the dude Bill responding to him. So let's look at some fires. U.S. West Coast wildfires. Nearly 100 fires run rampant. Western U.S. states are battling nearly 100 wildfires that have caused at least 7 deaths, displaced thousands, and destroyed whole towns. California, Washington State, and Oregon have been the hardest hit by the blazes. Fueled by heat waves and windy conditions, Oregon's governor said this could be the greatest loss of human life and property to fires in state history. 9 other states in the region are also seeing wildfires raging. 3 deaths have been blamed on the wildfires in Oregon, with another 3 in California and 1 in Washington, according to the National Interagency Fire Center. There are 96 large fires in the western U.S. More than 3.4 million acres have burned so far, with tens of thousands of acres burned in the last day in California, Oregon, and Washington. Oregon officials said several towns have burned down in the fires as winds gusted to 45 miles per hour. This is a colored infrared satellite image shows destroyed homes after the Alameda fire in Phoenix, Oregon. I can't make that bigger, but hopefully you guys can see that. I don't know. It's kind of hard to see. The fires are blazing across Oregon's valleys and along the coast, causing mass evacuations. One Oregon evacuee, Jody Evans, told News Channel 21 about her ordeal. Excuse me. Wow. Fire on both sides, winds blowing, ash flying. It was like driving through hell, she said. In so many places all along the West Coast, it is out of control. Just raging. In neighboring Washington, Governor Jay Inslee said on Tuesday that more than double the acreage has been torched in the previous 24 hours than had been burned during all of last year in his state. Wow, what's happening in California? California, in the middle of a 20-year mega drought, is experiencing more than, let's just call that 50 years. Anybody want to raise it to 100 years? Mega drought. California is experiencing more than 24 wildfires, including 3 of its 5 largest ever. I don't know if we're going to...
This is historic.
I'm just going to show this for a little bit.
To give you some sense of the size of this, there is 1,000 acres burning every 30 minutes. Well, 1 acre, that's a football field, guys. So you've got 1,000 of those burning every 30 minutes. Let's extrapolate that to 24 hours. That means that every 24 hours, out in the West Coast at the moment, there is an area the size of Washington, D.C. burning down.
118,000 acres were burned in 2019 by this time last year. You can see close to just shy of 2.3 million acres.
All right, are we in climate chaos yet? The sheriff of Butte County, I really can't stand when y'all do this. The sheriff of Butte County, northeast of San Francisco, said 2 people had been found dead at one location and a third elsewhere. One of the 3 was a motorist who was apparently trying to escape the Bear Fire. Police told local media the Bear Fire has scorched more than 200,000 acres since it began in mid-August. The latest deaths mean that fires in the state have now killed at least 11 people since last month. More than 2.3 million acres have been burned this year in the state. California Highway Patrol Officer Ben Draper told the East Bay Times that one of the fatalities discovered on Wednesday was someone who seemed to have been trying to flee the wildfire. He said investigators believe the unidentified driver had fled his or her car after driving towards a ditch before being overcome by the smoke and flames. Wow. Somebody was attempting to flee and it just didn't work out, he said. Why are the fires so severe? Well, why? Can you tell us? I'll tell you why. The slew of blazes across the region were sparked by a number of causes, from downed power lines to a gender reveal party gone wrong. I think you all heard about that one. But why have the wildfires become so bad? There has been a rise in the number of extreme weather events, which experts say is part of a trend caused by bigger climate changes. There you go. While climate change itself is not the cause of the blazes, it helps set the conditions for massive wildfires. We can totally just say it's caused by climate change. Sorry. Because if climate change causes the conditions, then the conditions cause the fires, then that's climate change causes the fires. So go ahead and make that connection, you scientific tomfoolery nets. I just made up that word. The western U.S. has recently seen serious heat waves, including a day which led to what may be the highest temperature ever reliably recorded on the planet, 130 Fahrenheit in California. Yeah, just last week, though, there were many places reporting 130. That wasn't the official temperature, but reporting 130 on their thermometers all over California. The last week brought one brought another heat wave, and Southern California saw record high temperatures. These hot, dry conditions have made the region ideal for large wildfires. Record cold temperatures and even snow in neighboring states like Colorado this month have also brought damaging winds. In addition to climate change, other factors like more people living in wildfire-prone areas and brush overgrowth have also contributed. And also not raking the forests. That's a joke. Yeah, I find that funny. I find the scientific reticence just hilarious. So maybe I'll just show you guys what the smoke is looking like here. We'll go out and about. Hold on one second. We're going on a little trip outside, guys. Hopefully my stream won't get too messed up. I can't really do the reverse thing here, but I don't know if you guys can see. I'll just do a little 360. But here's what the sun looks like. See that? I can't even see the sun. I don't know. There we go. Sorry if that's hurting your eyes. I apologize. Yeah, so just really, all of these aren't clouds. This is just smoke hanging in the air. I don't know if that was really worth doing, but that's my on the ground coverage of virus situation. And phone should be coming back. Let me know. Let me know if my mic is crackling and popping, guys, because sometimes when I disconnect it and reconnect it in a live stream, it starts sounding terrible. So if that's the case, let me know, please, so I can fix it. Arcadius, thank you for the super chat. If Guy is correct, how will collapse unfold? Will there be a critical point where the entire world will panic? Will world leaders escape? Good question. Arcadius, who knows? That is a scenario that is quite likely, right? And nobody really knows how the collapse will unfold. I don't think anybody really knows. Or how soon, or, what the timeline is. I imagine panic will be when there's probably food shortages due to climate change. I imagine that's really when the panic is going to kick in. However, panic can kick in if we have an economic collapse and people can't get food, or if suddenly money becomes worthless. There are a lot of different scenarios, but I imagine that food might be, the flashpoint of a panic. So if people can't get food, if people, but I would say like a climate panic would be if they're saying like, well, a whole bunch of crops were destroyed and we're going to have a food shortage. I wonder if they are going to keep that away from people's knowledge for as long as they can, right? If there was an actual let's say right now, the powers that be understand that, we're seeing a possible loss of food stores this year or next year. Maybe they even see it right now happening, but they're going to keep that out of the public consciousness for as long as possible. So what might happen is they won't report it, but all of a sudden you'll see food prices going like way up, right? Double, triple, and people will be like, what's going on? And then when people start to understand that there's a lack of food, then right, panic time. Panic, panic, panic. Okay, good. Thanks. Where would they escape to? Underground? Right. Well, many have the underground bunkers already set up. So yes, escaping to underground, escaping to New Zealand, escaping to, I don't know, South America, wherever they have their little secret compound set up. Probably a few in Hawaii. Hawaii is quite temperate this time of year, or every time of year. Who knows? Deep underground military bases, indeed, Doomhound. Wade In says, watching from Michigan, it seems like a different country. Most tears don't even let CC enter their minds while you burn and choke. Of course they don't. I mean, most people don't want to entertain it. They don't want to entertain the thought that, things are bad or could get worse. Deacon G, 1959, Tierra del Fuego. Uruguay, yes. Ask the Animal says, I hear Uruguay has a bunch of 1% owned land. In fact, I think the Bush family has a compound in Uruguay. I don't know. If I heard that correctly, if that's true. Maybe some other people have some land down there. Oceanic Estate says, trust me, it can get worse. Right. Boiled Rope Lamppost, Cheyenne Mountain, indeed. Kevin Shanholzer, I missed the last 20 minutes. Please start over. Thanks. Yeah. Let's move on. So, yeah, that's happening. Let's get into this story that David Wallace Wells posted the other day. Scientists have calculated how many mammals might be lost this century, suggesting at least 550 species will go extinct. Sounds kind of low to me. If you're talking about reality, humans are almost entirely responsible for recent extinctions, they say, and rates will escalate if we don't take action now. The situation is severe and it calls for a emergency action plan. Dun, 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 dun. Earth's lost species, only the tip of the iceberg. This is from September 5th. Scientists have calculated how many mammals might be lost this century based on fossil evidence of past extinctions. So there's evidence. Their predictions suggest that at least 550 species will follow in the footsteps of the mammoth and the saber-toothed cat. With every lost species, we lose part of the Earth's natural history, they say, yet despite these grim projections, we can save hundreds of species by stepping up conservation efforts. Well, golly, that just sounds so good-natured, so humanitarian, so easy to do. The new research published in the journal Science Advances suggests that humans are almost entirely responsible for extinctions of mammals in past decades. Right, so we need to step up these conservation efforts, and that would require human beings stopping dead in their tracks, being completely entitled, selfish, destructive jerks, right? That's what it would require. I was looking for there were a lot worse words going on through my head. Anyways, the new research published in the journal Science Advances, we already think that or saw that. And rates will escalate in the future if we don't take action now. Take action now. Vote for a Green New Dream. Despite this alarming... Oh, wait, you can't do that because we're not going to do it. They said they were going to do a Green New Dream. Wait, what happened? Oh, they said they were, and they got in office, and then they said, nah, we can't. Nah, can't do it. Rates will escalate in the future if we don't take action now. Despite the alarming scenario, we could save hundreds, if not thousands, of species with more targeted and efficient conservation strategies, said Tobias Anderman of the Gothenburg Global Biodiversity Center and University of Gothenburg. I mean, these are all very, very positive sentiments, which I'm hoping people listen to and take to heart. In order to achieve this, we must increase our collective awareness about the looming escalation of the biodiversity crisis and take action in combating this global emergency. Time is pressing, he said. With every lost species, we irreversibly lose a unique portion of Earth's natural history. The scientists compiled a large data set of fossils which provided evidence for the timing and scale of recent extinctions. Their computer-based simulations predict large increases in extinction rates by the year 2100 based on current threat status of species. There's that year 2100 again. Don't worry, guys. It's still, 80. It's still 8 decades away. Don't worry about it. We're fine. Technology is gonna come through. Elon Musk is gonna figure this out, or we're gonna go move to Mars. It's just that easy. Conservation, glimmer of hope for world's rarest primate. Oh, I don't know. I'm reading links from something else. Sorry. According to these models, the extinctions that have occurred in past centuries only represent the tip of the iceberg compared with the looming extinctions of the next decades. Yes. Reconstructing our past impacts on biodiversity is essential to understand why some species and ecosystems have been particularly vulnerable to human activities. Well, maybe because we're crazy, insane, destructive, selfish, creatures. Maybe that's why. Why is habitat so vulnerable to human activities? Why? Which can hopefully allow us to develop more effective conservation actions. I mean, it sounds so pristine, right? So pristine and scientific, the way they put that. All we got to do is understand what we're doing to the earth a little more, and then gently adjust what we're doing, and everything's going to be fine. Black Crow, if I don't show up for a while, I'm too depressed to watch. I fully understand. Green New Gruel. Ooh, that's a good one. Boiled rope lamppost. I like it. Soylent Green. It's paper. Yeah. So, yeah. Hold on one second. I'm probably going to have to read this article tomorrow because I'm running out of time. Hold on. Yeah, so here's something I'm going to get into tomorrow, but just I'm going to read you a headline. And this is, the same thing we've been reading for the last year or two. And this isn't new news. Human activity has wiped out 2/3 of the world's wildlife since 1970. So sorry to tease you with that, but I'm going to tease you with that, and we're going to move on. I'll read that tomorrow. Right. That's the impact that humans are having on habitat or on wildlife. We've wiped out 70% of wildlife since 1970. Did I get that right, or did I just 2/3? Well, whatever. 66% of the world's wildlife since 1970. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Doomhound planet nibblers, indeed. Nibbling away. Let's move on. I'm getting smoked out, guys. I don't know how much. I really don't actually know how long I'm going to keep this going because I'm really starting to fade a little bit. I'm getting a bit dizzy. So this is what I wanted to cover. This is from SciTech Daily. This is from September 5th. Also from September 5th. Oops, the world's oceans soak up far more carbon than most scientific models suggest. Oh, really? Are you saying that it's faster than expected? Is that what you're trying to say? We thought it was happening this fast, and it's happening a lot faster? Oh, is that what you were trying to say? Well, let's read on. Ocean carbon uptake widely underestimated. The world's oceans soak up much more carbon than most scientific models suggest, according to new research. Previous estimates of the movement of carbon, known as flux, isn't that nice? Flux, between the atmosphere and oceans have not accounted for temperature differences at the water surface and a few meters below. The new study, led by the University of Exeter, includes this and finds significantly higher net flux of carbon into the oceans. The flux capacitor is much higher than we thought of the carbon into the oceans. Carbon conglomerating, coagulating, congruolating into the oceans. The flux capacitor is overloaded. It calculates CO2 fluxes from 1992 to 2018, finding up to twice as much net flux in certain times and locations. Twice, double, compared to uncorrected models. Half of the carbon dioxide we emit doesn't stay in the atmosphere, but is taken up by the oceans, and land vegetation sinks, quote unquote, said Professor Andrew Watson of Exeter's Global Systems Institute. Researchers have assembled a large database of near-surface carbon dioxide measurements, the Surface Ocean Carbon Atlas, that can be used to calculate the flux of CO2 from the atmosphere into the ocean. Previous studies that have done this have, however, ignored small temperature differences between the surface of the ocean and the depth of a few meters where the measurements are made. They ignored small temperature differences. Oopsie. Those differences are important because carbon dioxide solubility depends very strongly on temperature. We use satellite data to correct for these temperature differences, and when we do that, it makes a big difference. We get a substantially larger flux going into the ocean. The difference in ocean uptake we calculate amounts to about 10% of global fossil fuel emissions. Wow. Dr. Jamie Shuttler of the Center for Geography and Environmental Science on Exeter's Penryn campus in Cornwall added, our revised estimate agrees much better than previously with an independent method of calculating how much carbon dioxide is being taken up by the ocean. That method makes use of a global ocean survey by research ships over decades to calculate how the inventory of carbon in the ocean has increased. Those two big data estimates of the ocean sink for CO2 now agree pretty well, which gives us added confidence in them. Yes. Uh-oh. Right after oops is uh-oh. Right? They forgot that part. Whenever you hear somebody go, oops, you always hear a uh-oh. Yeah. Yeah. So, Rich Diana, we need to stop emitting and remove CO2 from the atmosphere yesterday. Indeed. Also impossible, as you say. You know, I don't know if it's impossible, but highly improbable. Very highly improbable. Yes, I know my lungs are important. I'm okay. I'm a tough guy. But I'm not going to do this too much longer. We got about 10 more minutes. Then I'm going to go in and drink a whole lot of water. I don't want to completely get smoked out. But it is a weird dystopian world we are living in right at the moment. Going south, Norway has been very warm as well this fall. Yes, Osama, not the sort of thing you want to hear in a nuclear control room. Oops. And then a very, very quiet, uh-oh. Yeah. I guess this is extremely bad news for ocean acidification. Indeed, your environment, Seattle, bang on. Let's move on to this, and I guess I'll finish with this. There's another article that someone sent me, which is extremely dark and very controversial. I'm not going to get into it today because I just don't have time. and I want to get out of the smoke. But tomorrow, my friends, is September 11th. So I don't know. I don't know if I can control myself. So because I like to talk about what actually happened on September 11th, because if you don't know, you should know. And, I'm sure a lot of people don't know, and a lot of people are going to, have a head explosion, and they're going to disagree, and they're going to go crying into their, rose-colored glasses that they can't possibly fathom that people would do this on purpose, et cetera, et cetera. Anyways, just warning you, September 11th is tomorrow. But maybe I'll leave this dark stuff for another day. But let's get into this article. Scientists detect signs of abrupt climate shift in the Arctic. The headline says it all. This is also from September 5th. Ice cores obtained years ago document an ominous rise of temperatures, abrupt change manifesting just within a few decades. First, scientists thought this must be an error, but slowly they realized what it could mean for us today. Research into the polar ocean found it is getting hotter at a rate faster. Guys, hold on to your socks. Getting hotter at a rate faster than even the worst case climate scenario predictions. Again, one more time for the people in the back. Much faster than expected. We thought it was this fast. Uh-oh. Oops. Uh-oh. It's not that fast. It's way faster. To better put this into perspective, the international team of climate scientists then compared the observed changes in the Arctic with rapid climate fluctuations during past geological times. This tells us a lot, right? What happened in the past, how we can compare what's happening now with what happened in the past. The best climate fit, the Greenland ice cores, documenting incredible temperature jumps of 10°C or even 12°C. Excuse me. Over a period of between 40 years and a century, happening during brief warm episodes during the Ice Age between 120,000 years and 11,000 years ago. On average, the Arctic has been warming at a rate of 1°C per decade over the last 4 years. Around Norway's Svalbard archipelago, temperatures rose even faster, at an astonishing rate of 1.5°C every 10 years. We have been clearly underestimating the rate of temperature increases in the atmosphere nearest to the sea level, which has ultimately caused sea ice to disappear faster than we had anticipated. Yeah, we have been clearly underestimating the rate of temperature increases in the atmosphere nearest to the sea level. This is so... Didn't I just read an article that said like the same exact thing? Whoopsie. The sudden rise, they're overlooking some inputs into the data. The sudden rise of temperatures also means that cryosphere, frozen parts of our environment, are disappearing. For instance, the Greenland ice sheet is melting incredibly fast. More alarmingly, its ice cap is losing ice mass at a rate that suggests the loss could become unstoppable. That's just a suggestion. 4 out of 5 doctors recommend you avoid climate change. Avoid climate change wherever possible. Researchers have also confirmed that the average planetary temperature continues to rise inexorably. That the Arctic Ocean could be free of ice in summer as early as, are you ready for this? 2035. Okay. They're talking about the summer. They're talking about 2035. Has anybody looked at some charts of where the ice is at right now in 2020? Does anybody really think that we have until 2035 to still have Arctic ice in the ocean? Ice in the Arctic Ocean is a better way to put it. And that the climate scientists' worst case scenarios are no longer to be regarded as a warning of what could happen. The evidence is that what is happening now already matches the climate forecasters' worst case. That's the evidence. The latest finding implicitly and explicitly supports this flurry of ominous observation. We have looked at the climate models analyzed and assessed by the UN Climate Panel, said Professor Christensen. Only those models based on the worst case scenario with the highest carbon dioxide emissions come close to what our temperature measurements show over the past 40 years from 1979 to today. My goodness. With CO2 levels today around 400, we're going to say 420 because, yes, it's around 400 parts per million, but we're actually very, very close to 420 because we went to 418, and I think we might even dip to 419 this year. We are clearly committed to far more climate change, both in the near term and well beyond our children's future. A key question is how that change will occur. Abrupt climate changes are those that exceed our expectations, preparedness, and ability to adapt. Such changes challenge us economically, physically, and socially. That is from James White, Institute of Arctic and Alpine Research. Are you nervous yet? Are you upset yet? Are you angry yet? Are you depressed yet? Are you concerned yet? Yes. Gray Stash says, not to forget what is happening now that carbon was emitted 20 to 30 years ago, so we have a lot more coming indeed. Your Environment, Seattle, 415 or 420. Ask the Animals, Woot, 420. Exactly. Bro, we're at 420. Bro. That might be a really good meme to make to kind of clown on. I'm not against smoking weed. I don't smoke weed. I don't care if anybody, smoke it up. Smoke it if you got 'em, right? That's a famous quote. Hambone likes to say that a lot. Smoke them if you got 'em. Indeed, if you're a smoker of the green stuff, of the trees, smoke them if you got them. But, it would be really good to make like some kind of sarcastic, ironic 420 meme about 420 parts per million in the atmosphere. Maybe I'll work on that. Maybe I won't. I don't know. Maybe I'm just throwing out ideas for others to take on. Clown the 420 people, perfection indeed. Oceanic Estate. Medicate in the end times, doomhound indeed. Smoke or don't smoke. Do what you got to do. Drink or don't drink. Do what you got to do. Just don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt other people, right? In your end times, medication, whatever it is you do, take care of yourself as best you can. Some people see smoking a blunt or whatnot, they see that as some self-care. If that's how you do it, do it. Do it how you need to. Get it how you live, et cetera, et cetera. Smoke the trouts if you caught them. Only if you caught them. Hapsitaki says, well, the funny side is that we'll probably become less and less cognitively functional. That would be me. Once the hypoxia sets in, right. Jacob Gordon, do folks really want to be sober for the death of the habitable planet? That's your call, man. It's totally your call. I myself am sober, fully sober, and I plan on staying that way. I do not plan on medicating myself in the end times on any level. I plan on being fully present, because that to me is more important than anything else. I like to be present. Being present, connects me to the earth and connects me to consciousness and connects me to, et cetera, et cetera. So that's the way in which I feel better about myself, is to be fully present. That's not a judgment on anyone else or what they're doing or whatever it is they're engaging in order to cope how you got to cope. Kuro Hike says, if I didn't smoke weed, I wouldn't have made it this long. This world is terrible. Many of you are right there along with you is what I was trying to say. What's up, Mazza? I see you. You dipped in. How you doing? Appreciate the links that you're sending out, Mazza. Thank you for being here. SON or Sun says the end times will be a sobering moment for everyone. Indeed. Raza, me 22 years. Well done, Raza. I'm at 18 myself, so you know what they say. Keep coming back. Or I was like, what do they say? I'm losing it. It works if you work it, etc., etc. Whatever it is you got to do. If you're trying to keep your sobriety, do whatever you got to do to keep your sobriety, right? Because On the Fence with Mazza says synthetic weed was designed to affect possums only. Fun fact. I didn't know that. Is anybody out there imbibing in the synthetic weed? I wonder. Is it widely available? I really don't know because I'm not really up on game. I don't know. Are people smoking synthetic weed or chewing it or eating it or ingesting it? Is it a thing that people are doing? Is it widely used, or is it still something that's kind of on the fringes? I don't know. Yes, Jacob Gordon, keep coming back. It works. Thank you. I think I turned that into two different things. Thank you. Jim Martin, why would I bother with synthetic when I can get the real thing legally? Brian Melt says, I'm trying to keep my sobriety as far away as possible. Right. Okay, Funky Mystic, no one's smoking synthetic weed, all natural flowers, extracts, etc. So it's still, something in the minds of the mad scientists, right? We made the synthetic weed. We've got the patent for synthetic weed. Robert Arajo, popular with homeless price point. Okay. That's the stuff that makes you eat people's faces, says the dude. Oh, no. No, not that stuff. That's the stuff that they do in Florida. Sorry to all my Florida people. But you already know. I already know about the Florida jokes anyways. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Raza. I appreciate you. You don't look 18, Kevin. Well done. Thank you. I feel 18. I feel like a sprung chicken. Anyways, guys, hold on. On the Fence with Mazza. Synthetic weed is cheap. It's underground, and it's a long-term brain and soul destroying. Homeless issue. Oh, wow. Okay. Good to know. Steer clear of the synthetic weed, man. By all means. They try to make it bigger and better and faster and cheaper, and it turns out to be the worst thing possible, right? Isn't that always the way? Isn't that always the way with the tech fixes, right? We cooked this up in a laboratory. These scientists have been working for decades on this problem, and we cooked up something that's going to be bigger, better, cheaper. Everyone can have it. Those are the worst. Those are the things you want to stay the farthest away from ever, right? Florida, exactly. Sandy. Thanks for the super chat on the Fence with Mazza. I appreciate you. Osama number 5. How far away am I from the Bobcat fire? Not far. A few miles. Hold on. I can look it up for you. It's right. I mean, it's happening literally in the mountains right behind my house. But it's not directly behind me. It's like over. It's over like two cities over, 3 cities over. But they're saying this is, well, let me just give you this to sum it up. To sum up this video, Bobcat fire. Oh, dang it. God dang it. I hate the Los Angeles Times. Let's go. Well, I'll read you the headline. Bobcat fire mushrooms doubling in size in one day in San Gabriel Valley. This is, well, I live in the San Gabriel Valley. Maybe I can show you this. So I guess you guys can see this. So here is the fire perimeter here in the mountains. Oh, well, it's actually, yeah, it's about where I thought it was. And here's where I am. I live here in this circle here. So it's over 1, 2, 3, like 3 cities from here to the east of me. So it's a good, 5-10 miles away, in the 5-10 mile distance, something like that. So it's not really, I mean, it's close. It's close enough. It's close enough that it's surrounding all of us with smoke. Hey guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe, and you can support the channel at the links below, PayPal, Patreon, Square. Also, if you'd like to watch the live streams, you can watch the live streams on my Patreon channel. You can subscribe for as little as $1. So hopefully I will see you over there, and thanks so much.